Alright, here go the continuation of the first part of the video. As I was saying, like the Holy Spirit did take me and drift me, along to speak on something different. So, in relation to what someone says, think about how that's affecting you. I mean, when someone says something, what's the only way that you can receive it? First, you can see their mouth moving, but the main source of way to receive what someone says is through your ears. So that's why in the Proverbs chapter 4:23, in which I'm about to get to in a moment, you have to protect what is going in your ears. You have to protect what you receive in your ear, as well as what you receive through your eyes. All right. Okay. Going to Proverbs chapter 18, verse 20, states, "A man's stomach," that's male and female, a man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruit of his mouth, from the products of his lips he shall be fulfilled." Now just think about that for a moment. If someone is God-fearing, they should receive some benefit from what they say to somebody else. Now think about in reverse the type of people who speak death in their mouth. They are receiving a deceptive type of form of fruit from them speaking death to somebody. Like, it's not even fruit, it's dead fruit. It's useless fruit in which, it's being spread abruptly and like wildfire in this society and this generation. I mean, just take for instance, like, how rap and stuff is. Only thing they talk about is money, cars, clothes, and, fornicating with like a whole bunch of women, whoever they can get, in the bed. And, along with, like with they slick talk game, they can just throw some money here and there, and they can, they can have a female going like that, So, Proverbs chapter 18:20, I took the word "from" and defined what "from" is. So, it basically, like the definition of "from" is, it determines an indicated distance. So, in relation to the text, it says, "A man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruits of his mouth, from the produce of his lips, he shall be fulfilled." So, whatever distance or someone says something to you, if it's up close, if it's through a text message, if it's on Facebook, if it's through like music, if it's positive, it's gonna have fruit to the person who's receiving it. If it's of death, it's still gonna have the same effect, but not the same dynamic effect, because if the person is in front of you, it has more effect because that person is right in front of you. If it's like over text, it's gonna hurt, but that person's not in front of you, so it's gonna be like, okay, maybe I can talk to them about this situation or whatever, or the attitude that they have towards me. If it's through Facebook and it's somebody, you probably gonna be like, I don't care, So, like the distance, like the measure of distance, like if they in your face, texting, Facebook, email, music, whatever, different variety of distance between what they're speaking towards you affects how strongly it's going to impact your ear gates, as well as your spirit and your mind, in which your spirit and mind is connected through what you receive from your eye gates and your ear gates. All right. And, I wrote down here, like, your mind and your spirit to that person's mind and spirit, because we are in a spiritual warfare. This is, like us humans, it's flesh, like we come from the dirt. We all are just pawns, trying to bring forth the kingdom on this earth, you know, to impact this world. Because, you know, as you can see, like, the enemy is all over, you know. I mean, it's right in your face, you know. So, you know, we just have to be aware of that as well. Okay. Going here, I broke down the whole terminology definition of what word is. Like words being spoken, letters conform to make words into sentences, so forth. The synonym for word is verbalized, and the noun for that is promise. So when someone speaks something to you, first and foremost, I mean, it's, you know, it's recognizable, it's verbal, obviously, but the word that they speak is promise. That means that what they speaking, they meant it, like they meant to say it. For someone's not gonna say nothing if they don't mean it. You know, even if someone sugarcoats some words to you, they still mean it. I mean, if they didn't feel as though it was that important, they wouldn't have said it in the first place. So you have to be recognizable that like someone can just be slick talking to you, and you have to catch their sarcasm and be like, okay, they see me in this light, or they see me in this fashion, you know. And you know, you have to have that authority, and you know, in which power is to say something to that person and not just be drawn back by their words. Even though, you know, even though words are powerful, you still have to, you know, speak up in a compassionate and gentle manner, and you know, and like, you know, like bring forth what they said to the table. For words hold a purpose of being spoken. And words hold sense of promise, which leads to a purpose. Just like what I said. If it's promise, then it leads to a purpose of being said. You know, like always, somebody gonna say something and have a purpose behind what they say. All right. I'll get down to this next text that reads, okay, John chapter 6:63. It states, "It is the Spirit who gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak to you are spirit, and they are life." So, in conjunction with what I already stated and brought to the table in relation to Proverbs 18:21 and Proverbs 18:20 is this: it is spirit who gives life. Okay, so if you speaking words of wisdom to somebody, you are giving them life in their spirit. You know, if you giving them words of encouragement, if you being compassionate, like that is life from the spirit. So it's gonna be generated and transformed and shown through your actions to benefit that person's spirit. And it says the flesh profits nothing. Flesh don't profit nothing, because we first and foremost are born into sin. You know, our flesh already desires to sin. You know, for when we was born into sin. And we have to realize that our flesh is always going to want to sin. You know, if it's like we want to hear rap and stuff, and we trying to walk on that right path with the Lord, like our bodies are still going to be conformed to how society is, and want to always engage and interact in the things that it used to interact in. So you have to do baby steps in relation to, you know, seeking the word, you know, praying, fasting, tithing. You have to build up your spiritual maturity to be able to not be affected by the things that you used to be affected by. Because like number one, I understand that it's hard. If like when you're trying to change your life around, you can't just say, okay, Lord, I'm gonna just drop and be with you, Lord, and I'm not gonna be smoking and stuff. No, it's a process. Things just don't happen overnight. You can't just say, okay, Lord, I'm not gonna drink when you just drunk last night. Like because your body. Because your flesh is going to be fiending for it, So you have to, like always do baby steps, If you have like a friend who is mature in the Lord, like have them be there to help you. Don't try to, do this alone, all right? And it also states that the words that I speak to you are spirit and they are life. So just like in conjunction with the first beginning of the verse, saying words that you speak, they speak to that person's spirit, and the only way that it can get to their spirit is through their ears. And if you speak in abundant, God-fearing words to somebody, it's going to produce and flourish life within them, and they're going to be able to take what you say and encourage themselves and become a better person in the eyes of Christ. All right, I'm going to make another part to this video, so I'll be right back. Hold on.